Hey people, what's going on? You know, I got a bunch of messages, a bunch, when Glenn Fry died, and all due respect to the man, I wasn't an Eagles fan. I don't have a single Eagles record, and so with respect to all of the fans, rest in peace. Glenn was obviously a musical brother, a very successful one. But if you follow my channel, you can tell that I'm focused outside of the mainstream. And here in Nebraska, which is very red, conservative, and white, the Eagles on radio are shoved down our throats. Almost every other record sometimes is an Eagles song for decades now. And so they've been a band, when they come on, I turn the station, I avoid. Please keep listening, because I love and respect Glenn Fry. And I also know his story. I know that he earned it. He worked his way up to the top. But he, unlike David Bowie, unlike David Allen, unlike Edgar Froese, and unlike Dieter Mobius and Chris Squire and Ornette Coleman, those people inspired me and also gave me, they helped my sense of self, because I know that I'm an outsider. I'm well loved, but I do identify as an outsider. And so those people's music has sustained my life. Bless Glenn Fry, okay? But please, let me be honest, the music is of no consequence to me. I've heard it so much. That's a band that I never need to hear again. Like a lot of music that I've said in the past, like a lot of blues. If I never hear the blues again, I'd be a happy, happy camper. In related news, the band The Matt Johnson, you guys know him. I've got the records over here. I'd have to pull them. Most of Matt Johnson's records were illustrated by his brother Andy Dog. Now, I haven't checked this out. I understand through another music fan that Andy Dog passed away yesterday. So rest in peace, Andy. I'm here to talk about a couple things I got in the mail yesterday. I've given them first listens, but not heavy listens, because I continue to be busy. My job has gotten busier, and I'm juggling projects, trying to make some real money. So another VC member, or I should say another music, I'll stop saying VC member. Well, I'm going to say it. I know that there is actually disgruntlement among people. I'm not taking responsibility for it, okay, guys? I'm here doing my thing. I'm not the central controller, and I am not going to feel obligated to watch people's videos. Just do your thing, do what you want, just like I'm doing, okay? You watch me because you want to, not because I told you to, okay? Be positive. Give something instead of just bitching and moaning. Bring something to the table instead of always trying to control traffic, telling other people what they should do. There's a lot of this going on around the world, and it's, set an example, is what I'm trying to say to some of you people that are always bitching and moaning. Are you setting an example by something you're doing as well as all your bitching and moaning? That's what I got to say, all right? And watch some people who don't get it and want to have a backlash because I expressed my opinion, encouraging more positivity. That's just how crazy this fucking world is. I keep on. I received 2 pieces of music yesterday. One from a drummer and video maker, Dave Wayne. El Bicho Feo, I believe, is his on-screen name. He plays in a few bands. This is the Do Tell plays the music of Julius Hemphill. The name of the album is Hot End. I just jumped on here without doing research to get refreshed on Julius Hemphill. I've got a couple of his albums. What I remember about him mostly excuse me, is that he plays baritone sax fiercely. There's not a lot of baritone sax players. Jerry Mulligan comes to mind right away, obviously. But Julius plays it more in a free, skronking type of way. And he has a very well-known amongst jazz aficionados composition called Dogon A.D. And they cover it on here, Dogon A.D. I've only given this one listen, but the first thing I can tell you is that the band plays together beautifully. And Dave is a fine, fine drummer. There he is. There they are. Finesse and tuned in is what I hear. Not only in Dave's drumming, but the way that the members, just on the first listen of most of the album, I heard the interplay and the this music means something to the players, and it's being handled well. And when I'm done with this video, I'm going to play this again, actually, because Dave, thank you so much for sending this to me. Proud to have gotten to know you. Christopher Cole, John Coltrane 68 introduced us. Yes, frankly, there's a lot more activity VC-wise on Facebook as far as I'm concerned these days. It's just quicker and easier. You know, you get to look at the records, you have a conversation if you want, you don't. If you don't want to, you put a like. If you want to, you don't. You know, thank goodness they haven't put a dislike button there. That is so destructive. You know, it's like, you know, it's just really unhelpful, and it just really, it can be useful, but mostly what it does is it allows people's ugly spirit to just really come out and show itself. So, Dave, thanks for sending me this music. I'll be listening again. You're a fine drummer. Another person who I don't know at all contacted me and said that he really wanted to send me a copy of their record. And I said, please understand, if you do, you must allow me to be honest in my assessment of it. He said, I expect nothing less. So, with that in mind, I received this album from somewhere in England yesterday. The band, or the project, is called Nebular Wave. According to the sticker, there are only 100 copies of this pressed. I went and looked for information on this online and I couldn't find any. I didn't even see this album listed on the website of the label that it's on, Oak Apple Records. I'm sure that there's information, I haven't found it yet. First off, I forget your name, sir, but thank you for sending this album to me. I love receiving vinyl, and now my honest assessment. This is space groove, very much coming from old school to my ears. Analog synthesizers, references to Pink Floyd, very obvious. All analog playing, you know, drums, bass, guitar, synthesizers, warts and all, because there is a slight sense of these folks, some of them not being the best musicians, but this music, it's like they must play it. It means something to them. I think there's like only 4 compositions on here. 5. And basically what they are is that they establish a space and a basic groove, and they just repeat it. Mantra stoner space groove is what I'd call this. These are the kind of records historically that end up becoming huge collector's items, partially because of you know, scarcity, but there seems to be something for a lot of collectors where the music is not really completely well realized where there's this kind of homemadeness to it. I say that because I'm thinking of albums like Paternoster and Necronomicon, if I got that right. Those come to mind right away. There's some others I can think of that are very, very collectible and expensive to have. And when you hear them, it's like, my God, this is almost terrible. Why is this so collectible? And this album is not terrible. But what I'm saying is that the crafting of it is such that like I said before, it's like we really want to make this record, and we don't have everything together, but we're doing this. And so that extra touch of, I call loving care, because the music means something, is in it. It's not perfectly played. That does have an appeal, doesn't it? So thank you so much for sending me Nebular Wave. There's only 100 copies in existence. I don't know how to tell you folks to get a hold of this record. I went to the Oak Apple Records website and I didn't see any mention of this, okay? But friends like Carm, Ben in Ireland, even Rob in Boston, actually Gary, Baraka P. Dub. See, I can't remember everybody, Axel, Book, like Bruno stuff. Bruno's stuff is, they're spacey, it's space music. You would like this. What's what I'm trying to say, folks, is I think some of you other friends of mine here and folks that maybe I don't really know probably would like this. Interestingly, I will say this, I work hard on trying to make my music sound really tight and well crafted, and there's probably people who don't like that who would like this. Somehow getting the idea that because I'm using digital and MIDI and trying to make things as good as possible, that somehow that takes the human element out of it. That's incorrect. I work hard on that stuff for hours. It's what I want to hear. Okay, so that's why I present it to you that way. Really good stuff. While I'm here, a couple other things I've been listening to. I was forwarded a link to a recent Ryuichi Sakamoto interview on KCRW radio. He just did the soundtrack for The Revenant, which I have listened to online and don't have it. Haven't seen the movie, don't want to see the movie, honestly. But Sakamoto is another artist who I highly admire and love his music. He's fantastic, and he's recovering from cancer. May he live long. But I pulled this, David Sylvian and Ryuichi Sakamoto, Heartbeat. This is a CD single or EP that I bought when it came out in the limited edition box. I love this music. It has so much taste and class and beauty. Sophistication, those words all come to mind when I think of this music. Intelligent, insightful. So I played this, probably played this about 4 times yesterday because it's so beautiful. So beautiful. Some other stuff sitting out here, because what's been going on is I have this smartphone now that my company bought for me to use to help test some of these products. Like this Bluetooth speaker, which really is an amazing stereo speaker made by Easyac. And I'm just doing this because I think it's cool. I'm not paid to sell anything. I'm paid to test. But some of the stuff that they recently sent me that I've been testing are some killer speakers. And of course, this is something that I'm thinking I wouldn't be caught dead using, but now that I've tested it, it's like, this is pretty cool. This is a Bluetooth selfie stick. It's like, it's one of those things that you think you would, my God, this is so uncool. I would never use it. But, something? In certain situations, I'm going to check it out. It's like, you just, shit, I can just press the button there and you take the picture, It's pretty cool technology, okay? Does it look geeky? Yes. Are there some people who will geek out on this stuff and are just downright embarrassing? Yes, but I ain't one of them. So I'll probably use it a few times. I always want to put this message out there because I really feel like the Earth, energy-wise, right now is in such a horrible place. And as positive as I try to be, there are people who will just insist on trying to be negative. I'll give you an example, or just an example. I want to share something with you about what I observe to be true about humans, okay? So I was at the OEAA Awards the other night where I won. Yeah, I'll show it again. Very proud of this. Where I won Best Progressive Experimental Artist of the Year in Omaha. While I was there, all the glad handing, congratulating, I saw this one local political person who also is connected to music, who I used to work with. I will not say his name. If you're watching, you'll know I'm talking about you, okay? As I'm going through the crowd and greeting people, I caught this person's eye, and it was very obvious you looked away to avoid me. And I just let it go because, again, it's a reflection not of me, but of you, okay? I haven't done any dirt regarding this person. But I understand the opposite has been true. Directed at me, okay? So, when another going through the crowd, I happened to walk close to this person, I went ahead and did the decent thing. And I greeted him. I said, hey, I said his name, caught his eye. You know what he did when he caught my eye? He looked at me like this, flinched, as though I was going to hit him. Body language and your response says everything. I've done nothing to this man except be honest about some of his lowdown, selfish behavior that has been harmful to people in Omaha. And his physical response to me was to flinch as though I'm going to hit him. People, that's the end of the story as far as I'm concerned. Your behavior tells me everything. All the time. What's unfortunate is that most people who are doing the dirt are oblivious to their actions, really ignorant, really unaware of just how hurtful their actions and their thoughts and what they do because of them, how hurtful they are to the world. I was just one example. I know I did the right thing. I was gracious. I was kind. I don't want to hit him. Does he want to hit me? Does he want to hit me because of something he did? Because I ain't done shit to him. Folks that watch me, when I get like this, some of you really understand that there's a need for people to talk like this who understand the need for sharing this perspective, which is we as individuals could be a lot more personally responsible in our actions towards calming the level of negativeness in this world down. But it takes some insight and some heart to do it. And there's a lot of people that are on total disconnect. I'll end the music back on video. I say these things because they need to be said. Did you hear that madness that Sarah Palin is saying? The word trickery that she's using in her endorsement of Trump. I myself hear the manipulation. These people are cunning. I ain't gonna call them smart. Because, well, they're using their smartness in a cunning way. It's unwise. Pathetic. PFM, Passepartout, they were the Italian band. Someone was talking about them online. I pulled this, hadn't played it in a while. My copy is quite beat because I found it used. It's hard to find, but this is a wonderful album by the Italian progressive jazz band PFM, Passepartout. Mick Karn, who's been gone for a while, played bass in Japan. Dreams of Reason produced Monsters. This is a mostly instrumental album with 2 songs sung by David Sylvian. It kind of is, it's almost like the songs are modular. That seems to be the right word to describe this. Really, I love this. Love it. Haven't played that yet. Return to this. I got this recently from Savas Georgiadis in Greece. If you're watching Savas, it's taken me a couple sounds, but this intersound aural architecture bubbles on really nice. I do recommend this. It doesn't hit you over the head. It just churns along, and then the next thing you know, it's moved a whole different way, and you're really caught up in it. Matter of fact, I played a couple songs. I had picked up the needle and played it over again because it's like, I want to hear some more of that. Intersound, aural architecture. Okay. Last thing. Played 2 sides of this. Tales from Topographic Oceans. Yes. I have kind of panned this in the past and had Yes fans just lambast me like they're having a real issue with me saying they don't like this album. On my listen to it yesterday, this is what I hear when I hear this record that puts it at a lower level of yes for me. They sound tired. They sound like they played these songs too many times already. John Anderson sounds bored. That's just my opinion, so don't take it personal. And you can write and give me your opinion, but understand that what you say won't change what I hear. Okay? I've been listening to this album a bunch. So there are some nice musical passages that you have to wait a long time to get to. Most of the vocals on the 2 sides I listen to, it's like, he's not into it. I don't feel it. So that's the criticism I have about listening to Tales of Topographic Oceans. It's not spirited like many of their other records. Okay, I could talk a long time. I better stop.